Welcome to lesson 13 of Google Sheets for Beginners. Today we're going to talk about summaries, which is a simple tool. So this should be a short lesson. I know you're all laughing because if you've been watching my videos, you know nothing is short. But relatively speaking, this should be shorter than some of the other lessons because this is just a built-in Google tool that can come in very handy and helpful. So there's not really a lot to learn except to show you that it's there and show you a couple of cool things you can do with it. So let's get right to it. Before I do that, just want to remind you that in the bottom right corner, there's that little cog setting wheel on the YouTube videos. You can click that wheel and you can adjust the quality of the video. You want to make sure it's as high as you can possibly get. So look for HD. And also you can change the speed of the video. So if I'm not talking fast enough for you, if I'm moving a little bit slow, you know, some people learn faster, some people learn slower. You can speed me up. You can make me talk at 1.5 or twice as fast. Choice is yours. So don't forget that that option is there. All right, let's get right into the lesson. I'm going to disappear and we're going to go right into our spreadsheet. So data summaries. Basically, data summaries is right here in this little blank area. It's blank because we don't have anything highlighted. First, you got to highlight something. You got to make a selection, and then Sheets will start doing the data summaries. So here we go. I'm going to highlight, let's highlight yearbook cost. So I've highlighted that column, and you see down here, look what showed up. Sum, 1,000. So the sum, if you were to add all of these numbers together, is 1,000. You don't have to add because it's telling you right here. You can click this arrow and you get other options. It's letting you know the average of this column is 50, which makes sense because every value is 50. So your book costs the same for everybody. It gives you the minimum, it gives you the maximum, it gives you a count, which you'll see in a minute can come in very helpful. And if the number mostly contains numbers or really contains any numbers, but also non-numbers, it'll count numbers and give you that value. So you know that there are 20 number values here in this column. So that's kind of cool because, again, we're working with a short list with a smaller table just so you can see everything. But, you know, imagine if you had the spreadsheet and you were working at a school district or something and there were 500 kids on this list and you needed to find information. Well, you could easily see, okay, how much money has been paid in by all 500 kids. You highlight that row and you see right here, sum is 15. So you know that the total of all the entries in this column is 15. And you could also see the average. What's the average amount that any kid has paid, that the kids have already paid towards their yearbook? What's the minimum amount? What's the maximum amount? Now you notice the minimum is 5 here and not 0 because a blank is considered not a value. These would have to have 0 in them in order for the minimum to be 0. You can see it has the count and it has the numbers. Count could be useful in this situation where you're not entering values for people who haven't paid anything, because that would tell you how many people have paid anything. Well, according to this, count numbers is 2. So only 2 people have paid anything because only out of all these rows, if you had 500 of them, only 2 of them have numerical entries indicating that an amount of money has been paid. So you would know only 2 people have paid so far. All that information you get simply from highlighting this and then coming down here to the data summaries. So pretty nifty, huh? But it can be even better. What if you wanted to know specifically? Well, let's take it this way. Let's see if you wanted to know how many females are on this list. Maybe you need to know how many. Again, let's just use school for an example. If this was a huge list, but it's not, so we know there's only 21. But imagine there's 500, and you need to know how many females there are. Well, quick way to do that. I'm going to go to Filter. I'm going to uncheck Male, so now we only have a list of females. If I highlight this data summary now pertains only to what is not filtered out, only to what's here. And so it's telling me that the count is 10. Telling me that there are 10 values remaining. So now it is also including, what you have to remember, because this isn't numbers, these are all text. So it is counting the header. So you have to just know that if it's a column of all text, then it's not going to separate the header. The header is going to be part of that. So this includes that, and you just subtract 1 for the header, and I know there's 9 females. And we can count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you can just highlight the part you want to count, and you'll see now you have count 9. But again, you wouldn't want to do that if this was, if this had originally 500 males and females. You filter out the males, there might be 300 females. You don't want to have to drag down and highlight just that. You just click the column, know that count includes the heading, so you subtract 1. So 10 minus 1, you have 9. So that's a really cool way to use filters in association with count summaries to drill down and get the information you need. You could do that with, grade. How many 12th graders do I have on this list? Well, that's clear, and then just select 12, click OK. Now we only have 12. I highlight this. In this case, because these are numbers, if you click the arrow, you'll see count numbers 5. So there's only 5 12th graders on this list. And if you wanted to, you could do that and then go over to this and say, of the 12th graders on this list, I want to know how many have paid money so far. So I highlight this column, and again, because we've filtered and the data summary only pertains to the information that's remaining, I can go down here and see count numbers 1. So now I know that of the 12th graders, only one of them has paid money so far. So can you see how helpful that can be? And this is when I was showing you filters earlier, and I said later you'll see how this can come in really handy to get a lot of cool information. This is one of those ways. You don't have to use formulas. See, a lot of people would do a formula that goes in and looks at all the 12th graders and the money paid. And yes, that can be useful and helpful because the information is just displayed for you automatically based on that formula and updates when you make any changes. But, you can do it this way too. If you had this huge table and someone asked you, please get me the list, not the list, but find out for me how many of the non-seniors, so 9th, 10th, and 11th graders, find out for me how many of them have paid money so far towards their yearbook cost. So I filtered so that now we're only seeing 9, 10, and 11, and then I highlight the money paid column, and I can see count numbers 1. So then I could go back and say only one person has paid money towards the yearbook yet. And if there was, if there were different values in here, obviously if this were a list of 500, there'd be more. You could also give information such as the average amount that people have paid so far, or the minimum or maximum, all right there, just available for you. So simple, so easy, and really, really great. Let's jump over to the movie database just so you can see another use of this. So I'm highlighting the dates on the movie database, and if you see here in summary, it has the minimum and the maximum, which is equivalent to the earliest date and the latest date. So if you had a list of dates and you need to know the earliest date and the latest date, you could go there and see that. Maybe you had a list and it had birth dates in it, and you need to know who's the youngest person on this list and what's the age of the oldest person on this list. You could go in and see these dates and get that information very easily. Jumping over to our other list here, and this is funds. So you could, highlight amount owed, and you could see the average amount owed, the sum. So this would tell you how much is outstanding. If this column is showing how much money people owe, then the total of this column would tell you, the sum would tell you how much money is outstanding towards this, whatever it is, towards a trip or towards a yearbook or towards food for an event, whatever it is, how much is owed still. And you'd be able to see. You'd also be able to see what's the minimum amount someone owes. Well, 0 for someone who's already paid completely, or $9 for someone who's only contributed a little bit so far. So really easy to drill down and get that information you need. Jump back over to student info. I'm just going to give one more kind of quick, cool example how you can really drill this down. So we've got a filter here. Let's clear that filter, and let's say 10th graders. Let's say you wanted to know how many 10th grade girls are on this list. I filter to 10th grade, and then I filter to only girls. And then I highlight this column. I could do either. This column, the count is 3. Remember, because it's text, it's including the heading, so I know that means there are 2 girls on this list. Or I can go to grade because because these are numbers, so I know it'll give me an exact count of numbers. Count numbers 2. So I know there's 2 people on this list. And you could also, after having done that, you could go here and see how many girls hadn't paid or had paid. If you had, information of money owed, you could go here and see what's the total money still owed by female 10th graders. I mean, it's really, you can drill down to exactly what you need using filters and then going to that data summary. So that's really all it is. That's what Data Summaries is. It just gives you a way to highlight a column and then go down here to Data Summaries and get quick information. Allows you to find out a lot of things, a lot of information that you may need without having to know complex formulas. Obviously, Sheets, spreadsheets, Google Sheets, you can get really, really complicated with your formulas and get all kinds of crazy stuff. But most stuff that people use it for most of the time isn't that complex. It's simple, basic stuff. I need a report to know how many men have signed up for this trip. I need a report to know we have so much money that we need for our budget, and we were expecting $10,000 in donations. Go to that Excel sheet and see what's the total of what's been donated so far. There are things like that, and all that data is available in those data summaries. So using this, and especially using filters, you can drill down and get that information without having to know a single formula or having to know anything about formulas in Excel sheets. Just using data summaries and using filters, you can a lot of times get exactly the information you need to get the answers you need. So that's it. That's it for data summaries. I think this was a quicker, simpler lesson than some of the others. Again, don't forget to really learn this stuff. You got to practice. If you don't practice, you're going to forget. You're going to forget that data summaries are there. You're going to forget how to use them, or you're going to forget how to use filters to really get the data you need. So rewatch the video if you need to, but most importantly, practice, practice, practice. Use the sheets you have from me, or make up your own, and then try different things using data summaries, and especially using filters with data summaries to see how it works and kind of get it ingrained in your mind how to use that stuff. So you'll be able to do that when someone asks you to find out information in a spreadsheet and you have to do it. You'll be able to do it. Anyway, that's it for this lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about it, feel free to post down in the comments below. I do my best to get back to you as quickly as I can. Also, don't forget to favorite this playlist to keep up with future lessons. Subscribe to my channel to check out all my videos, not just Sheets lessons, but also product reviews and other things that I do. And please click that like button to show a little bit of love for the time and effort. I really would appreciate it. And that's it until next time. So have a great day.